Well, November marks National Epilepsy Awareness Month. The brain disorder impacts 1 in every 26 people. That includes a Michigan woman who says she sees multiple times a day for just over a decade. That is until a life-changing surgery just a few years ago. Fox 17's Marisa Oberly joins us now with her story. Marisa.
Jamie, that woman's epilepsy could not be treated through medication, so she became one of the first people in the world to get a device implanted into a specific part of the brain, which stopped her seizures. In photos, Robin Bobak acted happy.
It scared the living heck out of me.
However, the retired educator from Port Huron says for years she lived in fear because of epilepsy. At age 51, Robin experienced her first seizure.
Luckily, I got out of the shower and just plopped on the floor in my bedroom. My husband heard me and he came upstairs and he thought I was kidding around because I was flopping around. And he flipped me over and my face was purple, my tongue was hanging out. And he said, "Oh my God, call 911.
Doctors prescribed medication, but she still struggled with seizures on a daily basis.
There were so many that I never counted. I didn't want to.
That frequency changed within hours, though, in 2019 when Robin underwent surgery at Corewell Health West.
I was like, wow. You know, it was so unusual not to be confused or my head turning to the right or, you know, it was just so unusual for me not to be doing that, to have control of my mind. That's what was great.
She explains a team there localized her seizures and implanted a responsive neurostimulation or RNS device. Robin happened to be the third person to ever undergo the procedure in the back right part of the brain, according to Dr. David Burdett, who adds it monitors brainwaves, then gives small pulses during seizure activity.
Then it allows her brain to reintegrate it and to function for Robin to be Robin.
He says about 1/3 of people with epilepsy do not respond to traditional medicines and notes those with it experience different types of seizures that occur in a pattern or by chance. Epilepsy's causes vary too, from genetics to brain trauma. Although even then, roughly 40% of people do not get a reason why for their diagnosis.
The obvious impact is seizures and the difficulties that accrue from that. So difficulty maintaining or gaining gainful employment and just injury associated with seizures and those obvious accompaniments. But additionally, it can have effects on mood, anxiety, depression, issues.
Burdett wants to see more research and better treatments, and so does Robin. At 69 years old, she now lives seizure-free and encourages people with epilepsy to advocate for themselves.
It gives you your life back. It's the best thing ever.
The National Epilepsy Foundation says if someone experiences a seizure, people who can help should stay with them until it's over and move items that could cause injury. You also should not hold a person down or put anything in their mouth. The foundation recommends people call 911 if it's someone's first seizure or if it lasts longer than 5 minutes or if they appear to stop breathing or start choking. You can find more tips online at fox17online.com. Reporting in the studio tonight, Marisa Oberly, Fox 17 News.